A lot of interesting things happened in last night's episode of 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days. So we're going to recap all the things that went down, and I promise you now, this one's going to be juicy. Now, with that being said, let's start off with Elise and her new man all the way in Australia.
Oh, he might lose his job. I just found out that he lives with his parents. It's crazy. Seems like his life is falling apart as I'm coming. But I really like him, and I'm starting to fall for him. So I just want to give this a chance. Can't believe.
There's a time in life when it's important to reflect on our actions. There's a time in life when we are supposed to reflect on our mindset, on why do we allow certain things to just slide. So because Elise likes this man, she's going to ignore the problems that are clearly in front of her eyes, problems that really and truly she shouldn't really have to want to be involved with. I mean, the man does not have his own place. Whether it's renting or owning a property, he has neither. This is a man that has to live with his parents, or at least that's a story that he tells her anyway. When in reality, it turns out that he actually doesn't live with his parents. He actually lives with, well, another woman. A woman that Elise doesn't even know about yet. But either way, though, he's already told her last minute, by the way, I'm going to be renting a place with my friend because, well, I can't afford to rent it myself. And also on top of that, I live with my parents, which is crazy work. But when I say renting a place with his friend, I don't mean actually renting as in renting that place on a monthly basis. This is something they're renting just for a short period of time whilst Elise is there, so at least he can accommodate elsewhere. But to make it worse, he's accommodating her with his friend. How does that scream romance? And also, this is their first time meeting. But hey, Elise doesn't want to take these things seriously. Why? Because she's somebody who sees a man, and because she's aesthetically attracted to him, she's like, I'll let it slide. But I guarantee you, if the man had all the great traits possible, had everything on the card, but he was aesthetically not her type, she wouldn't even bat an eye. But anyway, let's continue.
Even I'm actually getting ready in a bathroom at the airport to go to a bar to watch an event. Josh sees how much effort I'm putting into this relationship.
You know, she's at the airport, and first thing that she needs to do is go and get changed. Which, listen, to be fair, isn't necessarily a bad thing if you know that there was a plan for you to obviously go out straight from the airport. And obviously, as a woman or even as a man, I would completely understand if you want to get on the plane dressed in something comfortable, especially on a long flight, and then changing when you get to the airport. Literally, nothing wrong with it. At least you're wearing clothes that are now fresh and you haven't been sleeping on or spitting on a flight. So that does make sense. But this whole change of clothes, this is something that she's doing last minute because of unexpected events. This is a man that so far has put her in a situation of unexpected events literally hours before she had to fly, and also literally minutes as she lands as well. So it's crazy though, because she does say, I hope that he notices these things that I'm doing for him. I'm going to tell you this now, folks. When you are doing something for someone, whether it's for your friend, it's a family member, or it's your partner, do not do it because you have an expectation of being recognized. Do it because it's something that you want to do, and it's something that makes you feel okay doing it because, well, it's not an issue to you. But you see, with Elise here, she's looking to do something, looking for reciprocation, which isn't a good thing. Sometimes reciprocation can be a good thing. I mean, sometimes expecting reciprocation can be an okay thing. But expecting reciprocation most of the time is not a good thing, because a lot of the times we don't get the reciprocation that we're looking for, but it's just the fact that it sets a standard, it sets expectation. Expectations are the killers of relationships, whether it be a relationship with a friend, a partner, or a family member. Just doing something because it's something that you want to do, trust me when I tell you, that's the way you should always be. But at least she's somebody who's ignoring these things.
The last thing I thought possible was 1, to bring Chris, and 2, to take me to a bar the second I landed at the airport. Glimpse of his life and figure out if he's a person I want to be with. Everything seems good right now. Our connection and our chemistry was it's there. So I'm really going to just try and make the best of it.
So here's the thing. As you see, she's landed. She's now found out that she's going to this random sporting bar with Chris's friend. So this is the crazy thing. He's landed there, and instead of surprising her with maybe something that involves just them two, nah. He wants to surprise her by doing something that's about him. She says that, she wants to dive in and find out about his world, which is nothing wrong with it. But there's a time and place. Listen, she's just had a long flight from the United States all the way to Australia. I have no idea how many hours it was, nor do I have any idea how many stops she had to make, but I know that was a long flight. So really and truly, he should be thinking more about how to make her feel comfortable, how to make her feel special, how to make her feel welcomed, how to make her feel wanted in a very romantic way. Because you see, this thing that they're going to do in Australia, you see, well, it's something that is done every year. So he's obviously done it multiple times in his life. Is it really bad if he misses out on this 1 year? No, because he's meeting someone that's supposed to be the love of his life, or at least his future. This is when you recognize somebody's priorities. He's made it abundantly clear that his priorities are based on himself and his priorities are not based on herself, which is quite sad. And that's something that Elise really and truly should identify and actually recognize. But instead, she wants to let that go over her head. Why? Because she wants to people please for starters, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Can be a good thing, but in this situation, it's not a good thing. She wants to people please because she wants him to like her, even though he's currently not bringing anything good to her life. All he's doing is bringing baggage to her life. Honestly, the way she's gone about it is completely backwards and makes no sense. But we're now going to proceed with Rick. Now, Rick is the man that we know cheated, cheated on Trisha by going all the way to Colombia to sleep with his ex-girlfriend. But we are yet to find out how Trish decides to react to this information. So let's get into it.
I didn't. How can I trust you when you go back to your country? What if...
She's not in my country.
I know she's not in your country, but you could go in Colombia.
Intentions on never being in Turkey.
A very good point was made here. When you go back to the United States, what's going to happen? You are going to be in a position where you can still book the flight. He tried to play dumb in that situation. He tried to play off as if, but it doesn't live in America. Trisha's not dumb at this point. She understands that you're more than happy to spend the money that you want to spend to go and see another woman because you know you're going to be dipping. So really and truly, him trying to deflect it that way was just stupid.
I'm promised that I'm going to be faithful to you.
Don't promise me, because you did promise me, but see what's happening.
I'm looking you in your face and I'm telling you.
She told no lies. How can you tell me you want to promise me when you've already broken the truth, the trust that we had?
You said I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm not. I'm going to do my best to make it up to you, okay?
I would like you lovely people to answer me a simple question. If somebody cheats on you, and then they say that I promise I won't cheat on you, how can they promise something they've already done? Even if they add the word again, I promise to not cheat on you again. Should we ever be in a position with somebody where we have to hear them say that I won't do said thing again? Because if you're in a position where now you're saying that I won't do that negative thing again, it clearly means that you've broken the trust. Clearly means that this person has no reason to want to trust you, nor to believe you, nor to continue any type of relationship with you. One of the hardest things to do in this life is to rebuild trust when trust has been broken between two people. The easiest thing that you can do is build trust with somebody when you meet them for the first time. You build trust between one another. And that's a beautiful thing. And then all you have to do is maintain that trust. But once you break that trust, especially if you break it with something very significant as sleeping with somebody else, understand that is the end of your relationship. Some people have these stories where they say that, I cheated on my husband, I cheated on my wife. They found out, and then when they found out, it actually made us stronger. Whenever you hear those words uttered, those lines uttered, I promise you now, that is not true. It does not make anybody stronger. It makes you more delusional. It makes you more crazy. It puts you in that toxic environment. Because you see, the rest of your life, look at it this way. If somebody cheats on you today, and then you decide to forgive them because you want to try again, understand, the person that is now cheated is now a fugitive in their own relationship. Because it means that anything that they do moving forward, they always have to look over their shoulder just in case you don't believe them. Everything they have to do has to be super accurate, super this. So understand, do you want to be a fugitive in your relationship? If you don't want to be a fugitive in your relationship, then one, either do not cheat, do not break the trust by doing anything else that is ridiculously stupid, or if you do decide to break the trust by doing something like cheating or something ridiculously stupid, leave the relationship at that point. Stay in. Why? You've also proven to yourself that you don't value the person that you're with anyway. You've already shown yourself and that person that you don't respect them. But to continue the relationship, well, do as you must. Stupidity.
I decided to stay because I'm already in love with him. Personality that he can cheat, he can lie, I didn't know. He acts the way he solved problems, it scares me a lot. I don't know if I could trust him again in the future.
Even when you have to tell yourself that question, should you ever ask yourself a question, I don't know if I can trust this person again? Because understand, someone putting you in that position, that's not healthy. That is problematic.
Or after this, I don't know. I want this relationship to work. That's why I'm trying to give him a chance to pick one. And if the one you pick win, we do have sex tonight. He told my dad that we were
Absolutely ridiculous. Because you like the man, you want to give him another chance. It's okay that you like the man. It's okay that you want to be with the man. It's okay that you want to give the man a chance. But it doesn't mean that you should act on it. Because you see, that person has shown you that they don't deserve you. But you present yourself as if they still do deserve you. Understand that person doesn't respect you. When somebody cheats on you or does something horrible to you, it tells you how much that person doesn't respect you already. But when you then accept that behavior and you keep them in your life, that person's respect for you drops even more. You see, people think about it as if, well, if I cheat on you, it's you that loses respect for me. Which, yes, you do. But if I cheat on you and then you forgive me for cheating on you, I now no longer respect you. Why? Because I know you're deluded enough, stupid enough, dumb enough to give me another chance when I know I don't deserve that chance. Whether or not I take that chance you give me and actually come good with it, who knows? But either way, though, moving forward, I now know that you're desperate to stay in my life. So think of it that way. Something that people don't do.
we're here and we are coming to visit them. So I cannot go back.
You're not gonna tell them to double that, bro.
No, I'm not. My dad is really protective. My daughter is in.
It's quite interesting though, because I do believe the reason why she's potentially staying with this man is because she fears that if she tells her father this man is a piece of, she's afraid that her judge may judge her. Because some people do stay in relationships with said people because of either friends or family pressure. And sometimes the pressure is really from the friends. And sometimes the pressure really is from the parents. But sometimes, no, my apologies, but all the time, the real pressure, I'll say it one more time, the real pressure is actually the pressure you give yourself. Bear that in mind.
In a good and the right hands. That's what he wants.
She loves her father. Let's just assume this, right? If she loves her father, why does she think it's okay to bring a man around her father that clearly is not the right man to have her life in her hands? She said her father wants a man that he knows that her daughter is in the right hands. So why are you going to present a man that is clearly not him? That is a massive disrespect to your father. A massive disrespect to anyone in your family or anyone that you introduce to him moving forward. Because you see, you're now putting those people in a position, even though they don't know the information regarding his infidelity, you're putting them in a position where they now have to accept somebody who isn't good for you. When in reality, when we introduce people to our peoples, we introduce them because we want that person to accept the person they're with, respect the person that we're with, and like the person that they're with. And to do that, you have to make sure that person is actually a genuine person. But these are the things that people do. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the next one. So with this one here, we are now going to be talking about one Aviva, and followed by her partner, Stig. Let's get into this relationship. And honestly, infidelity seems to be the poison of this episode so far.
When was the last time they slept together?
Like, when was the last time you and Stig ever, like, or whatever? She said last month.
Talked after that?
Like, are you and Stig, like, still communicating? Do you guys still talk? They still communicate. Like,
So, we know as of last episode, Aviva's aunt decided to come out and let her know that Stig had been playing elsewhere. Stig came up and decided to tell the truth, at least his version of the truth, to Aviva. Aviva said, okay, let me hear out my aunt, and also let me hear this girl. Now, this girl has come out and said flat out, yes, me and him have had intimacy. And yes, me and him at the same time are still talking. The question is, why would this woman want to lie? That is the key question.
he ever tell you have an upcoming trip?
Them together?
So this trip is in San Pedro, end of the month, Friday.
Exactly when you leave.
Do you believe in coincidence? I don't. I think coincidence it's not a thing. You see, in life, the choices that we make put us in positions for certain things. This woman has a text saying that, hey, just so you know, me and him are booked to actually go to this said place the same day that Aviva leaves. Is that a coincidence? Nah, because they're not real. It can only be nothing but a fact. It can only be the truth. Unless, of course, this woman is the kind of person that goes online and stalks someone and finds out what their plane ticket is, finds out when that person's leaving just to be cruel, which would be very far-fetched, wouldn't it? But based on this information here, do you believe that Stig has now stepped out? Do you believe that he has now actually been doing something with another woman? Well, hold that thought. Let's play some more.
This girl has kind of a casual relationship with Stig, not like a serious girlfriend. But still, if she's telling the truth, they were hooking up a month ago when we were supposed to be exclusive.
Please, somebody explain to me, what differences does it make? Whether or not this man is in an actual relationship with this woman, or if he's just casually sleeping with her, he is still doing that very simple thing. And what is that simple thing? Cheating, infidelity, stepping outside the relationship, dipping his toes in another pond. He's still doing those acts, regardless. But some people, because they don't want to let go, they try and twist things. They try and say things in ways to convince themselves that maybe it's okay to give this person a chance. They have a name for people like this. They have a saying there's a term for this. It begins with D. It is on the tip of my tongue. DELUSIONal. What does that spell? Delusional. Or in today's society, Delulu. You pick your poison.
The lady probably didn't even have my number when we died. That's crazy. I have no reason to lie.
Completely made that up.
Then what do you need from me? Call me everything. You want my location? I'm gonna meet my dad. Do you think I'm not serious about you?
Let's talk about this. This is a very good topic to talk about. When somebody is introducing you to a family member or a close friend, a best friend, is that confirmation this person is taking your relationship with them seriously? Once upon a time, 1000% that was confirmation. But you see, nowadays there are people who run scams. There are sometimes people who actually have family members who play a part of the act. So just because he's introducing her to his father, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's taking their relationship seriously. Because you see, there could be a possible chance that dad is in on the act. We don't know this, but what we do know is that the father did question Stig's seriousness of this relationship, to be fair, which tells me that the father knows a lot about his son. It tells me that Stig's father does not necessarily believe his son is the kind of person that is ready to settle down and actually be a real man, which I did find rather interesting. But either way though, in this situation, this is what I have to ask you lovely people, whether you are a man or a woman. If you are in a relationship with somebody that you know that something is not right, does them introducing you to their family mean to you that maybe this person is actually serious about me and they're not this bad person. If you truly believe that this is the case, please open your eyes, because it is not always the case. But of course, if you're with somebody that your relationship has always been good, there's not been none of this allegations and all this kind of kerfuffle, then it all makes the sense. But if you have had kerfuffles of infidelity, accusations of anything ridiculous, please pay attention.
Sure if he's just lying and making this stuff up, but he did bring up a point that the girl in the photo couldn't provide solid evidence. So all I have right now is his word against hers. I'm gonna take your word for it that maybe she's just trying to cause drama.
To go when Aviva was hinting.
Remember what I said? The moment that you forgive someone is the moment that person doesn't respect you even more. You're choosing to believe him over this woman because of what?
Thinking about being exclusive, I did take some steps and made some changes, but I wasn't 100%. I was still entertaining people. I was on people. Not really percent. I was still entertaining people. I wasn't sleeping around. I was texting people, hanging around people.
I only have one thing to really say here. In fact, not to even say, I have one thing to ask. Do you believe this man was simply just texting other people, just communicating? Or do you believe he was going to the far distance of not only just texting, but also getting physically involved? Because you see, just to add a little spiciness to this question here. If this was the case, why did he not tell Aviva this? When he had opportunity to tell it the full truth, he could have said, listen, I have and I was messaging other women because I was unsure of our relationship. But he didn't tell her that. So please, do you believe he was only texting, or do you believe that he was doing more than just texting? Now let's move on to the next one. Yes, Forrest and Sheena. The boy that is ready to just dash his mother to the curb. So sad. Let's begin.
So who says she's not going to do it again and again and again?
We're almost not built in a day, but she has to put in the work and prove herself. And she
Then why didn't you make her prove herself before you proposed? Everybody's got stress in their life, and then to say, I'm under stress, so I'm going to lie, and you're going to accept her, just keep lying.
I have two takes on this. I'm a strong believer that outside parties should never get involved in your relationship. But that is based on this specific context. It is based on the context of, if I choose to go to a friend and I decide to express how I feel about my current relationship, and then that person decides to get involved, that is not allowed. I am merely coming to you because I just need someone to vent to. I may even need someone to give me a little bit of advice. But it does not mean I'm inviting you to come and intervene in my relationship. So that is one perspective. But then there's a different one. The different one here is that this man has brought his mom with him. And also his mom isn't just his mom. She is somebody that has been by his side his whole life to look after him. And you see, in life, I do truly believe that if somebody around you sees a very strong problem in your relationship, where they see that this relationship is weighing you down, if they see that this person is actually doing something that is not kind to you, they should definitely tell you. How many times have you been in a relationship and somebody has told you after it's ended, or have told you 2 weeks, 3 weeks later on, by the way, I saw your person kissing this other person. Or by the way, I actually saw this person at this party at this time when you thought they wasn't. I'm sorry, I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't for said reasons. How many times have you been through that situation and it has been absolutely jarring, absolutely infuriating, to the point that you have wished that person told you the day that they found out? Don't we just hate it when people hold back information that is crucial to our relationship, to our choices? The point that I'm making here is that, you see, Molly is doing things from the right perspective. She sees a problem. The problem that she sees is that her son is in a relationship with somebody that Molly has determined to be a pathological liar. So therefore, she obviously wants to protect her son by telling him. But unfortunately, this is one of the reasons why people don't want to always open up their mouth. Because sometimes when you tell someone the truth, they don't want to hear it. And when they don't want to hear it, you end up losing your relationship with that person. How many times have you told your friend, your family member, anyone that you know that you care about the truth about the person that's in their life, and they have sat there and said to you, F you, you're just jealous, you're a liar, you are just trying to sabotage what I've got because you want it, and all of a sudden you've lost that person. But then when that person finally breaks up with that person, or they get broken up with, they come crawling back and they say, I know you told me, I know you warned me, I should have listened. This is one of those examples where unfortunately Molly is doing a good thing, but her son doesn't want to hear it. And because he does not want to hear it, what happens? The situation escalates.
Experience in my past life, I'm suffering from trust with people.
Guess what? We can't trust you.
I know you can easily trust me, but
You are suffering from trust from people in the past, but yet you are putting yourself in a position to not be trusted. That does not make sense. You cannot say that you lied to people because people lied to you before. That is a very immature thing to say. Wouldn't you say?
I'm trying to do my best to get things over,
We've heard this for 7 years. And even up until 3 days ago, it was yet another lie. She's a pathological liar, I'm thinking.
I wouldn't contest those allegations.
I bet you'd stay with her if she diddled with somebody else too.
We're gonna make things easy for you, okay? Are you gonna be part of our lives or not?
Excuse me? You're gonna give me the ultimate Forrest? I have always had to protect Forrest because of his autism, and it's...
Imagine that. The woman that gave birth to you, the woman that's looked after you your whole life, and you're putting her in an ultimatum position.
Happened before where he's been taken advantage of. Absolutely positive that Sheena manipulated Forrest again just so that he would propose to her. Forrest is going to do what Forrest wants to do. And do you think that the next time it crumbles and falls, that when you go to pick up the phone to call me to say that I'm going to be there?
I promise. I won't come to you.
I truly hope this happens. I truly hope this happens, because this would be one of the best things to ever happen in their relationship. Because you see, even though Molly is doing what she can to protect her son, sometimes you just have to let them fly. And if their wings break whilst they're flying, just be there for them. But don't be there for them in a way that enables their behavior. Be there for them in a way that displays that you're here for them, but they also have to learn their lesson. There is no point of a bird flying. There's no point of an eagle flying. And each time it flies, the wings keep getting hurt. And they keep getting hurt because they haven't learned their lesson. How can it avoid the wings getting hurt again? It learns from its lesson. Something to bear in mind here.
Losing my mom is something I've never expected to lose on this trip. I lost my best friend, the person who's been with me my entire life, the person who gave birth to me.
You chose to lose her. Just get it right.
That mommy just cut it. Mommy has to let him be the man and take the knocks and not bail him out. Forrest is on his own now.
I truly hope that is something that she sticks to, because that would be very good for their relationship in terms of so many aspects. You know, she's going to learn to give him his space, give him space to learn and grow. And he's also going to learn that mommy's not always going to be here to save you. And the fact is, we all have to understand that our parents aren't always going to be here to save us, because we are born to bury our parents. We are not born for our parents to bury us. Now we're going to get into Daniel and Lisa.
The stuff stand my clothes.
So she pooped on you?
She pooped on me, yes.
It was everywhere. I had to change the sheets with his help, and I didn't know what to do because I couldn't stop going to the bathroom. It kept coming. I mean, if a man can love me covered in and himself covered in my then he must love me for real.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how it works. Just because you poop on someone or urinate or whatever the hell disgustingness is happening that is absolutely grotesque. It does not show a sign of love, necessarily. If anything, it shows a sign of unhinged. It shows a sign that you both got serious mental issues. It just shows a sign of that something's not right. But, context is key. Context is key. Sometimes it may not be. You give me your thoughts, please.
I recently located them.
Okay.
And I filled out the divorce papers, but I'm still married. I tell you before you asked me to marry you. But you asked me to marry you in the middle of the airport with everybody there, and I couldn't say no, and I couldn't.
ECTION. Deflection. So Lisa is saying to this man that I did not tell you, or I wanted to tell you. Yes, I wanted to tell you about me and my previous marriages. And I also wanted to tell you about being currently married, but separated. But I wanted to tell you before you proposed to me. But because you proposed to me, I couldn't tell you. Okay. So what about all of this time that she had when she was in the United States of America? All this time that she had when she was communicating with him. You couldn't tell him then? The fact that she's behaving as if she never had the opportunity to tell him is actually nasty business. Disgusting business. But hey, we shall proceed.
I tell you that we are legally separated.
Sleeping with another man's wife in my culture is a sin. They will banish you.
I'm sorry. I do love you.
Sleeping with another man's wife, I don't think is love.
I'm sorry. Do you want your ring back? I'll give you your ring back and I'll leave. Jimmy,
I'll tell you what, Lisa's a very clued up woman. Let's talk about the ring situation here. She puts the ring down, says, I'll leave. But why did she do that? She did it with an expectation. Remember what I said, expectations? Expectations are not good things. She did it with the expectation of what? The expectation of if I put the ring down, hopefully he's going to pick up the ring, chase me, and say, no, we're okay, we can keep going. But that did not happen. The man stayed where he was, continued to rant, and then that proceeded with her returning and doing what? Going down on one knee to beg for forgiveness. How pathetic.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't tell you the truth. I'm sorry I didn't speak to you about this before now. I'm sorry. I should have told him in the beginning. I waited and I waited and I held off. And the worst case scenario happened.
We have to emphasize what is being said here. I should have told him at the beginning, but I waited and waited and waited. And what happened? The worst case scenario happened. This is why I always say to people, do not wait to tell someone something. There is no such thing as the right time. That time does not exist. Time is moving every single second of every single day. Time is moving right now as I am talking. Time is moving right now as you are listening. And because of that, we have to create time. We have to abuse the time. We have to use the time that we have to tell people the things that we need to tell them, to go and chase the goals that we want to go and chase, to go and do whatever it is that we want to do right now. We've got to do it now. We don't wait for the right time, unless, of course, we have an appointment. If you've got an appointment, different thing. If you know your job is from 9 to 5, different thing. That's the only time that you rely on time. If you know you got a holiday on this date and the flight is at this time, that's the only time. Time is the right time because that's the time you are booked for those said things, or you've been appointed those times and dates for those said things. But anything else that is not appointed for you, you use that time immediately. If you know right now you should be telling your partner that you love them, tell them. If you know that right now you should be telling your partner that it's over because they ain't, leave them right now. And I'm not joking. If you know right now is the time that you need to step away from said things, do it now. What are you waiting for? Time is at your disposal. Your disposal. Remember this. Because time does not wait for nobody. Even when it's appointed time, book time, to be fair, it still doesn't wait. But that is just based on context, isn't it, of course? But let's proceed.
She called me a liar. She called me a scammer. What? She's the real scammer. And I thought white people tell us the truth.
So, because I'm not a white person, does that mean that I'm a liar? The IQ levels of this man is very, very, very stupidly low. Wow. To base a race on truth. Wow. All races tell the truth. All races tell lies. It's just that simple. But anyway. Yeah, let's not make that the focal point, eh? Well, Lisa has now played her cards regarding telling the truth, given the fact that she's still married but separated. But he does not accept the fact that she's separated because he has been sleeping with a married woman in his eyes. And because of this is something that may put him in a position to be banished by his community, which I think is probably true, but not true for him. This is something he's probably saying just to be very dramatic. But here's the thing though, the killer thing is Lisa spoke about how she waited too long to tell him the truth. But even at that moment that she decides to tell him the truth, what did she also not do? She did not tell him the full truth. So if you're going to tell someone the truth, don't hold back. Don't tell them a partial truth. Tell them the full truth. And when I say that she did not tell him the full truth, what am I talking about? She also didn't tell him that the person that she was married to beforehand was not a man. It was a woman. He says that I have been sleeping with another man's wife. No, you've been sleeping with another woman's wife. Despite the fact that they are separated, but for him, that is irrelevant. But then again, at the same time, let's really deep dive into this a little bit further. Let's just say that really and truly he's actually not that bothered about her sleeping with her while she's still married. Let's just say that if anything, he's probably being very dramatic about this because he wants to use this to his advantage in ways to get whatever the hell he wants to get from her. Which a toxic person would do, which a user would do, and to quote what he just said there, something that a scammer would do. Of course, she called him a scammer because that's what she does, but at the same time, we've all established by now that if anything, in this relationship, they are both most likely scamming each other. Lisa scams by the fact that she can never be truthful, she withholds information, and even when she tells the truth, it's never the full truth. This man, on the other hand, well, yeah. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys down there. Peace.